if you can tell me that if they relocate all Chinese to Nigeria and relocate all Nigerians to China, they will turn Nigeria to what is better than China. And I'm sure that we Nigerians might turn China to what is worse than China. Thank you so much for having us on another edition, and thanks for believing and trusting our little orientation, especially for social, economic and socio-political development in our country. We want to appreciate the fact that we are only trying to make our own little contribution, and because we are involved, we want to say that it is very important that we contribute our quota, so that someday, not too far from now, our children will not say we didn't say something when things were going very, very wrong. I want to look at the issue of the security challenges that is facing Nigeria today. In the last couple of months, I've been privileged to travel around the country, either to cover one assignment to the other, and in most cases I either go by air, but in most of those in majority of the instances I go by road, and I go by a premium vehicle company. And I hear drivers say, oh, we have to pass through so routes or so routes. We have to pass through so routes due to the fear of attacks, that we have some places that have been captured or under the organization of some fearsome or fiery set of people. Either they call them Boko Haram, or they call them hardmen, or they call them all sort of names. But I don't think most of these people are even Nigerians. From what I've been able to capture, or what I've been able to glean from security reports, I think the problem is really about our porous borders and the porous forest lifestyle. Nigeria is such a blessed country, but because we feel we are too blessed, unfortunately we have decided to also sleep too long without taking cognizance of the benefit of our blessedness. Those large farmlands, you ask yourself, in the last 3 to 4 decades we've been traveling around nook and crannies of Nigeria, and anytime you are traveling you find a lot of large expanses of land, bushes, waving at you, trees, and especially if it's a night journey, you hear the sound of squirrels from those bushes. There is no life in those bushes. At times you pass some very dark areas, passages, and you feel what is going on here. And in most cases you even run across big snakes that are crossing from one other end to the other end. If you have traveled to some of those southern states, and good enough some of us have done, if you have gone to places like Ikoyi, places like Ede, places like Ile-Ife, places like Ilesha, Iwaraja, maybe upper parts, Akure, Ikare, maybe places like Udiaye, Ore, and some other far-flung environments in this part of the world. That is different from the north. If you have been to the north, you will know that there is a wide difference between us here and the northerners. If you live in Kano, you will know about the story of the Lembus, how the northerners are using their own lands to produce, but how we the southerners, especially the people of my mother's tongue, the Yorubas, are sleeping over what they have. And now we're not talking about a spillover of a terrorist population from some countries that are surrounding big brother Nigeria, countries like Niger Republic, even countries like Cameroon. I mean, countries that are too far or too close to us, even distant countries like Mali. We're talking about, should we call them people that have the kind of strength of Tuareg fighters, people that we acclaim that are trying to sponsor Islamic fundamental ideologies, people with gun and raw cash. Of course, they are going to dominate the bush. Those places are going to be valuable land mass for them to occupy and start hitting us. We are a very big country without concern for our bigness. We're a country that is so big that we sleep over our bigness. We are just like a giant, like an octopus that is not aware of an atomic bomb by its side. Atomic bomb can be so small, but it can blow off the octopus in pieces. You will never go to some countries across Africa, especially that Cameroon, and you will not be stopped for search if they discover you are working or your mannerism is not in tandem with the way and lifestyle of their people. Even in Cotonou here, Benin Republic, that is very close to Nigeria, you cannot just be there hovering around. Now, why do we abandon those bushes? Why do we leave all those large farms to be dominated by reptiles, by bush hyenas, by bush animals, and now by horrible people? We are aware of a couple that came from abroad recently, and they went to Elisha for an event, and on coming back they were kidnapped. They were allegedly kidnapped, and the husband was raped by some horrible homosexuals among them. I don't think these are Nigerians. They cannot be my people from the north. They can't be the Hausas. Okay, the wife was raped. The 9-year-old daughter was equally raped, as they allege in the circulated report. Okay, now we are also aware, I had a record that is going around now about some people that escaped the other time. They were coming from Ibadan, and they got to a point and some people started shooting guns. They just emerged from the bush. Okay, now why can't we declare emergency in what we call our forest department? Why can't every state employ more people, both a potpourri of security and agricultural experts, to start moving into the forest, to declare an emergency in forest engineering, forest usage, and take the forest life as the immediate economic earner for government? I'm not an economist, mind you. I'm not an accountant, but in my layman understanding of how things works, I will tell you my experience some few years ago. In 2005, I was working with a newspaper, Hallmark newspaper, I think so. Yes, and there was a story that I wanted to cover in Benin City on a particular day. I think there was crisis then. There was war between the political family of the late Chief Anthony Anene and that of the governor, Chief Lucky Binedion. And I think they removed a former speaker, I've forgotten his name, who now became a Federal House of Representative member later, and they put David Yoha as the speaker then. But because you know the way politics in Nigeria, everything is always dirty. David Yoha, from what I discovered, was Lucky Binedion's boy, and the Anene people in the house wanted to remove him. So there was a controversial story around him, and I was involved as a reporter. There was an allegation that he was trying to dupe somebody somewhere in South Africa, and I was assigned to go and look at the report. And this is what happened. I'm not even going to dwell on what I met in Benin, the report and all that, but I want to dwell on what I met along the road when I was going to Benin. That afternoon, I got to Edegbe Motors, Edegbe line. It was those Peugeot 504 station wagon. And on getting to the park, I saw a Chinese man, a Chinese. I think he's an entrepreneur, a businessman. Somebody brought him to the motor park, and he was sitting comfortably. When I got to the park, I said, okay, is there any vehicle? They said, yeah, the 504. This 504 is going in the next few hours, but you are just the number 2 passenger, and we're expecting 233. I think they were still expecting about 5 to 6 passengers to join us. And because I was in a hurry, I said, no, I have to leave, because I was to meet the speaker the next day at a popular hotel in Benin, and I have to get to Benin to check into a hotel that evening, and we were talking about 2 o'clock. And as I was moving, the Chinese man said they should call me back, that we pay for the remaining 5 seats and all that. And I was like, wow, what's the meaning of this? He said he's going to pay for the 5 seats, and the price for that was, I think per seat was 2,200 we were paying then, 504 station wagon. So I decided I like sitting in the middle, so I sat in the middle. He also joined to sit in the middle. Then the Nigerian man that brought him to the park came to urge me that I should leave the middle, I should go and sit in the front. And I said, no, this is where I want to sit, this is where I'm comfortable. So when the Chinese man saw myself arguing with his driver, I said, no, leave him, that he should leave me, that he's the one that decided to foot the bill of others, that there should not be special treatment, that I should be allowed to sit wherever I'm sitting. So by stroke of luck, myself and the Chinese man were now sitting in the same row. So it was just going to be 3 of us, the driver and 2, and he was paying 2,200 times 6 or times 7. I was just paying for myself. The car they used to bring him down was very expensive car, and I was wondering in my mind, why can't this guy go by air? Why is he going by road? I was thinking maybe he had air phobia and all that. So as we were about to take off, the driver now became a bit friendly. He said that I should please allow his oga to read some of the magazine in my hand. And as usual, I used to buy a lot of magazine, and luckily I was working with a magazine company, a newspaper company. So I told him, I said, sir, don't worry, I'm a journalist, so your boss have no problem, he will read more than enough. I said, oh, thank you. We took off for the journey around 2:30, and as we were traveling, I gave him all the paper he was reading. And to be honest with you, I was sleeping and waking in between the journey, but this man was not sleeping. He was looking and looking and looking and looking. Unknown to me, he was going to Delta Asaba, and I was going to Benin. So on getting to Benin, he tried returning some of the papers. I took some, and I told him to take some, because some were free complimentary copies from my organization. And he said, no, why? I said, no, I work there. He said, oh, you're a journalist? I said, yes, I'm a journalist. Oh, and I said, what are you doing here? He said, he is a construction giant CEO, that is a businessman from China, and that his company is constructing a big hotel in Delta State, and this is his first time in Nigeria. And I said, sir, why did you go by air? Our roads are a bit challenging. Why did you choose to go by road? He said, no. And thank God those days things were still okay. It was not the era of kidnapping like we have it now. He said, no, that he has heard so much about Nigeria, and that he heard that we have a large expanse of land, and that he said he will have to travel by road to see for himself the level of landmass that we have, so that they can appreciate it and think out what that could do for them. And I said, what do you mean, sir? He said, no, young man, you people don't know what you have. That if they take all of us in China down here and take all of you in Nigeria and relocate you to China, in 2 to 3 years we change all your bushes to economic prosperity. And that struck me. He said, yeah. He said, because in those bushes, that's where we get our medicine economy. That's where we get our farm economy. That's where we get a lot that those bushes should not be laying fallow. And I said, you mean that? He said, yeah, that if it's possible, they should relocate all Nigerians to China and relocate the Chinese here, that they will be so happy, and that they will change the entire landscape of Nigeria in just 2, 3 to latest 10 years, that everything will be changed. And I asked him for his card. Today I have to show the card here. On one side of the card is English, the other side is Chinese. His name is Mr. Daniel F. Lee. Mr. Daniel F. Lee, the president, FL Engineering Incorporated, Suite 11C, number 2020, Zhongshan North Road, Shanghai, China. This other side is written with Chinese, the other side is written with English. You can see the card for yourself. I have kept this card for as long as possible, and I was looking for it for a long time because I want to get this topic across. Now, when I dropped in Benin for the whole night in my hotel room, that kept striking in my consciousness and subconsciousness that what? That's a very strong talk. So why should we leave our bushes fallow? Why should we leave our land masses unattended to? And everybody is just in Abuja, pushing around in air-conditioned vehicles, pushing around in aeroplanes from one place to the other, sleeping in air-conditioned feed rooms, then doing all sorts of horrible meetings. We are so good in organizing seminars. We love it. You will hear some stupid local government chairman organizing seminar from Nigeria to China on how to develop forests or how to develop agriculture. They go and they collect tester code and they come back. The other day, some House of Rep member went to America to organize seminar, and instead of doing the seminar, they landed in some sexual scandal. They said they were chasing pints, bras, and all the rest, and it nearly destroyed our image in the international arena. Why are we so good in talking and talking and talking? No action. So why are those roads open up? The other day I was coming back from a journey in Kogi State, and I took a shot of some of those bushes. You need to see some. They go in, no security attention there. Some of those bushes are even houses to evil men of many years ago, kidnappers who kidnap people and go and slaughter them and sell spare human parts. Some of those bushes have become terrible shitholes that a responsible government should not be proud of saying we are presiding over. These are places that we should send intelligence to comb. These are places that we should quickly declare an emergency occupational scheme, so that the Department of Forests, either at the federal level, state and local government level, there should be enough fund to encourage wood development. A work science and engineering scheme should start going on there. There should be ambitious and rigorous farming projects. There should be ambitious and rigorous opening. Instead, the worst that is happening is that the churches are even buying most of them and changing them to housing estates. No economic viability and no economic development and nothing. If Mr. Daniel Lee can tell me in 2005, how many years ago now? 19 years ago. If he can tell me that if they relocate all Chinese to Nigeria and relocate all Nigerians to China, they will turn Nigeria to what is better than China. And I'm sure that we Nigerians might turn China to what is worse than China. Now, go back to the north. If you go to Kano, in Kakasara area of Kano, Kakasara is not too far from Sabongiri. Ask them to take you to Lembu. Go to Lembu and see what they are doing with farming, with irrigation and vegetation. In Lembu, that is the place you can get the cheapest tomato, cheapest onion, cheapest tatashe, cheapest pepper, food, soup ingredient, and even lettuce and all the rest. Because there is passionate, energetic farming scheme going on. People are cutting their farms. You see people with their generator. You see a large dam whereby there is water, manure water, whereby people drag with pipe. They drag it to their generator and drag it to the lines of their plantation. So this manure water comes as manure to whet the appetite of the produce. And you see the biggest tomatoes, you see the biggest attache, the biggest atarudo, and onions germinating from there. I'm not too open. There's also growing one farms in Kaduna somewhere there. There are a lot of farms across in the north. These people are using their farmland to produce something, and when you go to my 12 market, you see them loading trailers upon trailers of fresh tomatoes, lettuce, onions, yams, and all the rest. But in the southwest here, everything is docile. We're only chasing white collar jobs. Those that are not chasing white collar jobs are opening churches and taking horrible suits, and they are naming or labeling themselves pastors and ministers of God. Ministers that are 24/7 hungry, looking for people to buy them expensive telephone, GSM, looking for people to buy them cars and dash them cars. I'm not saying it's not good to dash genuine men of God cars, but these are people that are hungry lots. Everything is about miracle money. The lands are fallow. Nothing is being done with those lands. Even those that are farming, there is no protection for them. We are talking about the hard men coming into their farm to destroy the farm. No protection, no security protection. The governors are busy. They wear all sorts of best clothes. They dress so well. You see them in very elegant dresses, laughing like idiots. They laugh so much that you wonder, are they caused? Nothing serious is going on, and they come and tell you, oh, we cannot pay 30,000 wage, we cannot pay. But things that is going to give them money, they're not even looking at it. They're not looking at the lands. They're not looking at the fallow lands. Instead, they would rather convert those land to property, to real estate, so that they can sell it at fabulous prices, outrageous prices, make money, live after power, and another government will come and open a land tribunal to start looking out for who to drag to collect C of O from and charge for more money. Everything is all about how to manufacture evil out of anger and hunger. So why are we in this dilemma? It's because we have left those places to be fallow. Any place that is vacuum, there must be something to cover it. There must be no vacuum. Even in your house, in some of the most silent places in your house, you find out some uninvited guests will be living there. Guests like cockroaches, like rats, like mosquitoes, like bed bugs. You will need a very frontal effort to chase them away. You will need to buy either sniper, buy or you get a fumigator to come and fumigate them out. Those are unwanted visitors. So on our borderlands we have unwanted visitors, and our diplomatic environment is also porous. We don't have citizen diplomacy. Even our police behave like dullards. You look at an average Nigerian police with horrible pot belly, carrying gun as if they are carrying toy, walking aimlessly. Everything in their head is out to harass somebody, take money off them. And unfortunately, the image is so bad that even the good ones, they cannot even raise their hand. Everything about the immigration is about how to harass people. Now we're even hearing about custom tearing bags at the airport. So when people are crossing the border, there's no psychological way of detecting criminals. Everybody can pass when a few words of CFAs, dollar or naira can exchange hand. Any idiot can just pass the border into the country. You don't dare that in most of the countries that are very resistant to intrusion. You don't dare that. You don't enter any country just anyhow. But in Nigeria, everybody is allowed. Even among the Okada riders, you see people, you speak Hausa to them, they cannot even speak, they can't reply. You speak Yoruba, they can't reply. You speak Igbo, they can't reply. Then they drive you so mad, and you ask them, where are you from? They are from Nigeria Republic. One day when I was working in the newspaper, I think it was National Mirror, somewhere in Obasade in Ikeja. I was coming to work one early morning and I saw a guy beating up a young man. He was beating the man so badly. He was saying, I'll kill you. And I asked the other man, the guy that was beating him, I asked him why. The man they were beating was an Hausa, and the other man was beating, was saying, I'm from Niger, I go kill him. I'm from Niger Republic, I did kill. He was kicking him terribly. I say, you from Niger and you're going to kill this guy that is an outside truck pusher? I went around, I found, luckily for me, I saw a soldier passing, a young army officer. I didn't know where he emerged from. Was going to, and I went to him and I spoke to him that, please, this is what I just saw. Somebody called himself from Niger that is going to kill a young Hausa truck pusher, and he's beating him, kicking him. The guy was on the floor already. Then the military guy came and intervened and said, what happened? What did he do? He couldn't say anything. Maybe he said that one owe him something or money or something like that, something mundane. And before our eyes there, the army man disempowered him, gave him the toughest beating of his life, made him to frog jump. And I was there, I supervised it, and I said, if it has to do for me to eliminate you here for crossing into my country and trying to kill a citizen of Nigeria, a young Hausa boy, and you are boldly telling me, and if you look the way he is, he was who than the young Hausa man, and I gave the Hausa guy money. I said, just go and treat yourself, just walk away, put your whatever away. We made sure everybody gathered there. We made sure that he was beaten. We made him to get into the gutter and start swimming inside the gutter. We left him with the military man. We didn't know what happened with him, and I knew he was not going to get himself for the rest of his life. That is what happened in Nigeria. And you have to say, where are the security operative? Where are they? What did they study in school? Did they study psychology? Did they study philosophy? Did they go to school? Did they eat good food? Are they paid well? Who is their commander-in-chief? Who is the chief? Who is in charge of their affairs of their mind? That is why all the bushes are porous. Everybody is afraid to travel now. The problem is not the president. The problem is not the people that are ruling. But unfortunately, the people that are ruling are also victims. They are just victims of circumstance. But I want to say it on a last note. In conclusion, let me read something about Chinese for you. From the abstract, they said, this is how the Chinese discovered their forest life. Adapting Chinese forest operation to socio-economic development. What is the potential of plantation for strengthening domestic wood supply? This is just on wood supply. It's not on vegetables, food and other consumables. Okay, he said over recent decades, China's forestry sector went through a transition phase characterized by a management and institutional reform process with a constant rethinking of the ecological and societal role of forests within a unique political system. Nevertheless, despite impressive achievements in forest restoration and conservation efforts, the enhancement of ecosystem services and forest area expansion through plantation development, China was not able to improve its domestic timber supply characteristics according to its demand. Consequently, the continually growing wood processing industry is facing a severe demand and supply gap, causing high dependencies on timber imports and others. Outdated forest operation practices dominated by manual labor are not able to meet supply demand or to implement new silvicultural strategies for enhancing forest quality and productivity, and are a widely unnoted disruption of a sustainable development. Therefore, this review presents the status quo of China's forest operations sector, how it's shaped by forest policy reforms and recent socio-economic developments. In addition, suggestions are developed how the sector can progress through policy adaptation in order to develop sustainable timber supply capacities based on domestic plantation sector. Keyword: China forest operations, socio-economic development, wood supply, policy reforms. It's a very long article. You can check it, you can Google it and read how China changed her forest lifestyle. But here in the southwest, we have a lot of young people who would rather want to become tout, NURTW chieftains, collecting free money, harassing transporters, and making the cost of transportation to be very obnoxious and unbearable for ordinary citizens. We have people who don't want to go to farm. We have idiots who work, like now as we are recording now, there is no lights. They work in discourse company. All they do is to go around, harass people, collect money. We are still going to do a video on that anyway. So we have people who want to do things that they cannot even give their children. Somebody that is the chief of tout, how are you going to give that kind of iṣẹ́ kí ọmọ gba owó òde gba owó garage ṣé ó ṣe fi lọ́mọ lọ́wọ́? Àwọn tó ń wa ọ̀kadà ǹjẹ́ wọ́n lè fi iṣẹ́ náà lọ́mọ lọ́wọ́? You are an Okada rider. If you know millions of Okada riders now, if you carry those numbers and you transport them to the farm, you know how much you are going to get working, developing a farm? Do you know how much food security you are going to contribute to the country? Talk less of external food security across. But everybody wants something that is nothing. Everybody wants to be a motor park tout. Everybody wants to be a NURTW tout. Everybody wants to wear a horrible vest. Everybody wants to be an idiot. Everybody will be babao. Go to all the local government in Lagos, you see them there, praise singers, no job, nothing. Àwa wà ń bí, àwa tí àwa ń bí o, mama àwa wà ń bí o. Then who is coordinating them? There must be an idiot somewhere. They allow these people to be like that. If it's a same country, they be taken out of that system and be properly arranged where they where they deserve to be. It's either they are retrained or they are reprimanded. But nothing of those is happening in this part of the world. Recently, one of the best governors that has emerged in Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde, may God bless that young man. Very innovative, very talented, cool, calm, and collected. He just disbanded the NURTW nonsense in Oyo State, and for the first time, we could just feel so happy. He said the local government should be collecting those taxes. If the local government is collecting the taxes, it will not be too outrageous. Somebody somewhere will not be buying 10, 3, 40 jeeps, building houses and marrying so much women, building shopping plazas, traveling abroad and gallivanting, showing the necklaces, showing bangles, sleeping around with actresses. That money will be used for palliative measures on roads, on construction works, on schools, on government utilities. That money will reflect even in the garage. Go to some of this garage, they look horrible. Even those markets where these idiots are collecting money in Lagos, you look at the floor, they are crying for repairs. Things are just wonky. So Governor Seyi Makinde said, no, you cannot be collecting the money. Every year we keep building one powerful talk out of NURTW, one powerful horrible talk. They say it's the one now that is reigning. It's the one that sponsored 10 actors to Dubai. It's the one that did a party and all actresses came braless or they came pantless. You know, because the money is so much and they were not trained to manage the excesses of that fortune. They are not trained to manage it. So the bushes are empty. And every day you arrest criminals. The prisons are filled up. And they now say the criminals are sentenced. They are sentenced to so year in prison with hard labor. But the hard labor is within the confines of the prison. What happened to those large farmlands? In the olden days, people that were sold into slave trade, may God forgive those errors. People that were sold were criminals that were caught in the towns by local chiefs and they were sold, and most of them were used to develop farmlands in the Americas, in the Bahamas, and some other city centers. These are people who eventually developed those places before the technology revolution came and arrest all those. So now if you have a lot of people in prisons and prisons are busting, why can't they convert them to farmers to be helping? Then let there be a robust policy toward deforestation. Go into those forests, chase out the evils, chase out the useless people, break all those camps, develop farms, develop settlements. Let agric be the order of the day. Start facing the farm. As a governor, stop traveling to London. You have no business going to London. You have no stupid business going to Dubai. What are you going to do there? You have no business going to America. Then idiot you say you're carrying people to go and do seminar. For what? You've been doing that for years. It doesn't give us a result. Take them to go and do seminar into those bushes. Let them see those terrains. Spend more money on those terrains. Break those terrains. Open them up. Then you will see that the hoodlums will not be there again. Even the Bible said it in the book of Psalm 18 verse 50. It said the foreigners will be chased out of their hidden places. They will be shaken out of their hidden places. Go and read your book of Psalm 18 verse 50. Who are these foreigners? They are the people that came from Algeria through Niger Republic, from this stupid Libya country that are maltreating our people, Gaddafi's Libya, and they are now masquerading as Boko Haram, masquerading as ISWAP and all the rest of all the stupid name, using us to become enemies of ourselves, using the head of Yoruba to hit Hausa and Fulani in Nigeria, using the head of Fulani to hit Igbo, hit everybody. These are the people that are trying to come and encircle us. We are beautiful people. If you live in the north, you see that we are beautiful people. If you live in the east, you see that we are beautiful people. If you live in the middle belt, you see that we are beautiful people. We love good life. We love association. We love ourselves. But our borders, we are too porous. We are too ordinary. I think that's the essence this video is. From here, you can think. You can take the discourse further till we come your way again. I'm just getting very angry and I want Nigeria to be a very good country. Thank you for listening to me. Till other time, we'll do another video. God bless you. Have a nice day.